Please leave a message after the tone.
You got several questions due. Your life is going down the tubes. What do you do when you need advice?
This is where it gets good. Good night.
What am I fighting for?
So turn down the lights, pick up the phone and leave a message for the new client.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of Nude Clan After Dark. Oh, yeah. I'm your host, Caleb Schweiss.
Caleb Craig.
And Cameron.
And today, we actually have voicemails, so let's see what they have to offer for us and for you guys.
Nude Clan, it's A4 Extreme. I have a question that's a bit of a two-parter. So, first part being, my girlfriend does not like my taste in music at all, and it's not just relegated to the weird shit like electro ska or whatever the fuck I listen to, but it even gets into like the stuff that she would normally like. Like I started listening to Carly Rae Jepsen because I was trying to find more mainstream pop to satisfy her need to criticize all of my music in the car. And she doesn't like that for some reason, but she likes Call Me Maybe, the song that everyone's sick of. Doesn't like any other Carly Rae Jepsen songs, though. Doesn't make any sense. Because she mainly only likes top 40 pop, whatever's on the radio. So the second part of this question is, when we're driving in the car, she has a penchant to want to turn off my Spotify or my phone or whatever and just flip on the radio and then just tune into whatever she wants. But I don't know. I was under the assumption that when you're the driver, you get to pick the music, and the other person or people in the car just have to fucking deal. And I try to pacify her. I try to even play semi-moderately popular stuff that I think she'll like, but she doesn't like Ghost or Coheed and Cambria, shit like that. So I'm at an impasse here. I guess my main question is, what tactics can I use in order to find music that she might like and play it for her, or just, I guess, in any other case, impose my will and make sure that it's like, no, this is my car and I'm going to play the music. Because I'll tell you what, if I have to hear fucking Cardi B one more goddamn time, I'm going to end up on the fucking news. So, yeah. Sorry for the long-winded question, but help a guy out here. Anyway, have a good show.
All right, so two-part question, right? Part one, what to do about, I guess, finding music for your girlfriend.
What do about?
Well, or like, what's the policy? So let's start out on the bait. Let's go.
Girlfriend music, no like. What do about?
Yeah, let's go baseline here.
What about something?
What is the rule when it's your car? You're the one driving. What happens with the music now?
There's no rule like that in a relationship. Only with friends.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like with a woman, it doesn't work. It's just sad and like, yeah, I'm driving. It's only fair, but there is no fair any longer. Fair has left the building.
But it doesn't mean that you can't have your turn on the aux cord. It's just there's no rule of, I get to dominate the music this whole drive session.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't just do that. With the guys, yeah, I agree. And we've been subject to Joe and his podcasts for so many fucking hours on road trips. And we understand that's just the rule. Joe's driving, so we listen to How Did This Get Made for the next 10 hours.
Yep, we're on a camping trip to go to some awesome hiking locations, and yet Joe needs to make I think it was like 3 or something hour detour back down into town just so he can find some shitty fucking internet connection to download a podcast.
Yeah.
A 30-minute podcast that took probably about 40 minutes to download just so he could have something to listen to later.
The sliver of internet.
Yeah. God. And
I don't think that's the only reason we made that trip, but it was a large one.
Yeah.
That was, the only reason that Joe is willing to make that trip.
And now that I'm listening to some shows, I kind of get it, but I'm not really listening to shows though. It's just like
You're listening to the people.
yeah, like a dude lecturing kind of is what I've been listening to a ton of. And so like I mean, yeah, I really like it, and like I feel like I want to blow my brains out when I can't have something in my ears at work, but like not when I'm camping. But the whole idea is that amongst the guys, you know, we kind of have similar tastes. Except for Craig, but nobody cares about what Craig wants, which is kind of the truth. I mean, Craig likes...
We have the same taste.
No.
I just like more than you do.
No, you don't, though.
Yes, I do.
We've proved this numerous times. Just because you like Celtic Woman doesn't mean you like more than
Why
the
is
rest
Celtic
of us.
Woman literally the only thing you ever bring up?
that's
You're
all
like,
you
you
ever
only
listen-
like Celtic Woman.
That's all you ever listen to is Celtic Woman.
Even though you also love Megadeth and
No.
everything else that I love, you only like Celtic Woman because that's the one thing I remember that you've listened to like at least once that I've heard.
You
I thought
claim
was ridiculous.
You claim to like Megadeth and Metallica, but you
I do,
actually
but I don't
like
fucking
Celtic
suck
Woman.
them. I wouldn't fucking suck off Dave Mustaine or James Hetfield at all, unlike you and Joe. If they were in the room and they had their pants down, you both would suck them off without a fucking question, and I just don't feel the same.
You know, another funny thing is...
I do like them, and I think one is like one of the greatest songs ever created, but I wouldn't suck them off.
Another funny thing
All right.
is you don't give me quite nearly as much shit as you do Craig, even though you look at me cross-eyed sometimes when I put on certain types of music.
Yeah, well...
I'm sorry for being cultured twice.
Oh, yeah, culture. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
that's what it is.
I'm
All
sorry.
right?
You're right. You're cultured.
Yeah, fuck you.
That's what it is.
So, as you two are driving together, how do you guys
culture
decide
than Mr.
who
I
gets
only
the
listen to
aux
2
cord?
bands.
That's not true at all.
It is true.
Just look at my hog for the year. It's mini bands. It's at least 10
You're
bands.
doing it for the hog points. You're not doing it for anything else.
You know what? I listened to fucking James's music just to listen to it and see what it was.
That's not true at all.
And
No.
you didn't like it.
I didn't like it. No, I get why it's liked, but I hate the screaming. I hate the like whiny screaming, and that's only
Yeah.
the last CD. But that's probably the best one.
It's usually why I can't listen to something like metalcore.
Yeah,
It's too emo at times.
I think that his band is post-hardcore is what it is.
Mm.
And you know, it's the earlier stuff. There's some good stuff in there, and they get better at playing music, and they're way better at songwriting, and like they're actually much better as a band now. But I don't like the music necessarily. But I'm trying to do that, Craig. So fuck you. I listened to 50 Cent this year, for God's sake. Like, what do you want?
I cannot believe that you actually think
I
it's good music.
think it's fucking sweet. All right,
I can't believe that.
and yeah,
at
maybe
all.
part of it's like a Stockholm syndrome.
I feel like
game
it's
on hard. Like,
I feel like you only like things for the meme of it, and that's it.
yeah, Idol is all right. He's just the bassist, so I can insult the band all I want. He doesn't. He's barely there.
Barely there.
Yeah, and it's funny. In most of the media, I notice like that's kind of how they do it because like James. Like on their Twitter thing, like James's head is cut off by like the little Twitter circle. You know, they got the background. There's like numerous images where James is not there, and I'm like, man, they treat you just like I do. Like, background bitch, and then he shows up late for the show, and I'm like, it's probably because I'm a dick. To him. But I thought it was really funny. I was looking at his stuff like a year ago, and I was like, what the fuck? James is just like cut out of the band. Like, he's still in there? It's like, yeah, I just for some reason I'm just in the right position to have my head cut off in these pictures, and no headshot of me. But I'm trying. I'm experimenting. I listen to all this Dream Theater. I don't like Dream Theater. I mean, I do now, but like most of it is just like it's just too. It's too long, and it's just too. I do like it, but I don't like it at the same time. Like sometimes it's just overbearing. Like it's too much work to listen to this, and I'm like, I shouldn't have to work to listen to music. It's not how music should function in your life. You shouldn't have to like. It shouldn't be like a taxing event to dissect an album, and I feel like that kind of is that way. But I'm working through it. I'm trying to experiment with more stuff.
And if or you can have this kind of a conversation with your girlfriend, then I guess concede, let her pick the music as you guys drive, but you just put in headphones, and so you guys don't talk the whole time. You're just listening to your own music as she's listening to hers.
Yeah, and see, Alex listens to trash music as well, but she likes some of my music, so I'll usually just put on the songs that I know she likes.
Yeah, but apparently, even though he's with Carly Rae Jepsen, he's tried to make a playlist that she should like, but she refuses. One other idea I had is make a Spotify playlist featuring all of the artists that she currently likes and is listening to, but with like the less listened to songs on each of of their albums, and just throw that together and see how she likes that.
Yeah, see if she still
like
hates
the not popular songs from each album.
Yeah, you can do that. Although if she's meme, if she's a general listener, she probably won't even know. I mean, because
she wouldn't even know that those are songs from the same album.
Yeah, and this is the discussion that Joe and I had on an early episode of Ultima, because we just released a 2014 best of episode, which is like all the funny. We didn't really do like best like deep conversations because we honestly don't really have that many of them. But we did like funniest moments, and that was one of the conversations that we had. It's like, there's a huge subset of people. There's a small subset of people that listen to music like we do, where we really get into it. And it's like so. I guess it's not a small subset. There's probably it's like 50-50. Half of people probably listen to music because it's got a deeper meaning, and it's like this, this thing that happens to you that you can't really explain. And then there's half of the population that just listens to it as whatever, it's just background noise. And those people are crazy to me. And your girlfriend might be one of those crazy people that just has it as like it's upbeat and it's in the background, whatever. And those side songs, I guess, should still fulfill that need, and it'll also fulfill your need to not hear the same fucking song a billion times in a row. And, I mean, Jesus Christ, even I have my limits. I mean, fuck, the song I Stand Alone is great, right? But when I was playing the Scorpion, or when I was playing the fucking, the Two Thrones, or no, Warrior Within, Prince of Persia game, and I kept dying to the Mega Boss, and it would kick the song off over and over again. I'm like, fucking God, like, give me a break here. Like, I love the intro riff, but fuck, I can't do it over and over and over again. I'm like, we're in Persia here. Where the fuck is Godsmack here? Like, none of them are Persian. Where the fuck is, like, the fluty, like, awesome soundtrack the first game had? Instead, it's just endlessly, because I can't get the fucking jumps down, and I just die. And, like, even with shit that I like, and the Carly Rae Jepsen or whatever fucking stuff that you like, you get sick of it after a while. The same thing over and over again. So
yeah,
the thing I have to battle with Alex with is her like, she really listens to Last Podcast on the Left a lot, and I hate those fucking smarmy cunts on that show, dude. I fucking hate those guys. They're
been
such
loving that word lately.
Yeah, man.
Smarmy.
It's a fun little, like, because it's so fitting. It's just so you can see it. When you say it, you can just see it in their cunt face. And it's so, God. But she stopped listening to it because they're doing a segment on, like, a huge chunk on Mormonism, I guess. And she says they're kind of doing a hack job of it.
Yeah.
Because they're, leftist fucking chodes, and all they can bring up is politics every 5 seconds. So they're just bashing it, like, stupidly because they're uneducated fat slobs that watch horror movies all day. And I'm glad she's finally come around to that, because I fucking hate that podcast. Like, every time I listen to it, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Everything's
makes you hate it.
They're just so political, and they're so dumb. Like, some of them are pretty funny, and there's one guy that tries to rein them in, but, like, I can tell it's the fat guy. The fat guy is the one that can't shut the fuck up about every little thing, and, like, he just... they just make claims that are so untrue. Like, that's just like they had a segment about going postal, and like everything they talked about was so wrong. Like, all the little, like, oh well, it's because of this and this and this, and I'm like, no, it's not. Like, you could fucking research it, and you could see that. Like, you could talk to people that work in the industry, and you could see exactly what it is that makes you go postal. It's there, all right.
Did you write them a scathing review?
No, I no. I don't even know how to. I don't even know if I know my iTunes login to write the review. But
I could see you being angry enough to go find it just for that purpose.
Yeah, exactly. A4 he used to bring up Trump like every episode. It doesn't even. It doesn't even pertain. I'm just like, God, shut up.
Kind of how we bring up Conan every episode.
Yeah, it's like Conan, but Conan's actually a video game, and it's, video game podcast. It's a horror podcast, and then he's like, you're going to bring up this, and it's, and it's fine to give your opinions, I guess, but when it's super unrelevant, it's just fucking stupid. It makes you sound like a jackass. And they, of course, they have a huge audience, and it's super popular, but I fucking hate it, dude. I hate it. I fucking hate that show, and those guys are such fucking assholes. They have some interesting topics, though, on, like, serial killers and stuff, but I hate their personalities. And, like, to me, the best thing about podcasting, obviously the discussion is probably number one, but number two, right below it, is the personalities of the people.
I mean, yeah, and if you don't jive with
it.
that personality, then you're just not going to be into it.
Yeah, and I really don't. And they also called fucking Godsmack new metal, and I got really pissed at that, too. And I'm like, it is newer metal, but, like, you can't tell me it sounds like Korn. Like, you'd have to be a fucking retard to tell me it sounds like Limp Bizkit. It's like, rolling. Yeah, like, does that sound like that? No! You would have to not have functioning ears to tell me that those sound like the same thing. Like, fucking hot dog flavored water and chocolate starfish? Like, what? Fucking what? Yeah, I was super pissed at that, too. And I know that's really nitpicky, but I'm like, don't talk about music if you don't fucking know anything about music, you stupid
I
sluts.
mean, if you go to the genre section for Godsmack, it's heavy metal, post-grunge, new metal, alternative metal, hard rock.
I would say all of those except for new metal. It is newer metal, but new metal implies it has like a cross genre with like rap to me. And maybe it's a cross genre because they do have a post grunge kind of feel to the early stuff, especially.
Yeah.
But it is not in any way comparable to like fucking Papa Roach or like fucking Limp Bizkit, God forbid.
What about that new album? I haven't heard anything on it, but
The new Godsmack album?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I hate it, but it doesn't sound like Limp Bizkit, for Christ's sake. Or Korn, It's not like, all day I dream about fucking. There's nothing like that.
It's all in the family.
Yeah, those are good songs. Yeah, there's nothing like that. There's nothing weird and crazy. It's just shitty, like, high school. The shit that was big in high school, like crappy 3 Days Grace. That's what I'd call it. Which is kind of all 3 Days Grace, but you know what I mean. So, I mean, you just have to come up with I think Cameron's idea is probably the best. Just have play like non-popular versions of those songs so you don't hate yourself.
Yeah, but it's also kind of like sticking it to her at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if she likes the newer pop, just find stuff that you don't hate and play that too. Like,
another thing I was going to say, sometimes I'll put together a playlist of songs that I like in Spotify and then go down to the suggested songs that they have down below to find other songs that I may not have listened to very often, just to see how well it fits, and then add some of that. And you could try that. But it just sounds like she just wants to listen to the same 40 songs over and over.
Yeah. And it's like, just buy her a top 20 CD,
Also, I
and then
don't
kill
understand,
yourself.
like, getting off of Spotify and then turning on the radio when you can literally play any song you want on
could
Spotify.
also damage your radio antenna so you don't get any signal, so you have to listen to Spotify. I don't know. I'm sorry, babe. It's broken. Can't listen to the radio, so it's either silence or Spotify.
Yeah.
You like white noise?
Yeah, or just have her listen to Nude Clan. I mean, what's the problem?
Yeah, that's
here?
perfect. That's a perfect solution, honestly.
I mean, like After Dark, we don't talk about games.
A4 jumped onto that one. Yep.
It's hard when you have
radio don't work.
It's going to be tough when you have like a Honda or something like mine where the antenna's like in the like glass windshield. They have it like in there. You're gonna have to like.
But you could
peel
also
that shit out.
you could also just fuck with the radio part itself, like where it connects to the radio.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
It's not that hard to take a car radio out still. And I mean, depending on the car, sometimes you have to take out the whole dash, but most of the time you don't. And you just,
Yeah, you kill it.
no more radio.
It's a good plan. Yeah, I get really tired of the top 40 stuff too. I mean, some of it's okay, you know.
Or just like disable the AM/FM button so you can actually switch to it.
Yeah, just fry it somehow.
Yeah, well, you just take it apart and then you just when you press the button, it makes contact. Just prevent it making contact. Like put a little bead of like hot glue there, so it doesn't actually complete that connection. And later, if you want to fix it, it's easy.
Yeah, Imagine Dragons. Yeah, I just really got mad at the folk rock phase. That really pissed me off. That happened for a while. Like Mumford & Sons just makes my blood boil.
That's not even like.
So
don't even
fucking
say
annoying.
it's rock. It's just folk.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I truly despise it, though. So at least I haven't listened to that. You know.
Yeah.
Or last podcast on the left. Thank God for that. All right, let's see what else we have. See what other podcasts we can bash on with our time here today, because that's the ultimate good, is to bring to light these scum.
Hey, what up, New Clan? Angry ass black dude. So I got a question for y'all that I posted on my Twitter a couple months ago, and so I want to know your guys' opinion. Are transgender titties man boobs? And if they are, which transgender titties are man boobs? Like, are men to women who had man boobs before they were men? Now that they're women, do they still have man boobs, or are those women boobs? If it's a woman who goes to a man and she still keeps her titties, are those now man boobs? Or, I don't know, maybe the woman gets rid of her titties but gets fat and like some little titties come back and now she has like the traditional man boobs. Are those man boobs? And I'm going to say this also, fake boobs never count as man boobs. Fake boobs should be in their own category. So yeah, what do you think? Let me know. Have fun. Peace out.
All right, so
This is a trap.
This is a trap. It's a trap. Oh man. Oh, it was good knowing you, Twitch. It was great. Had some good times.
Start that stream.
Oh man.
And that's what I think about that.
Yeah, we just pretend like we already answered it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the trans community, what counts as man boob?
Okay, if we really want to answer this question, I feel like the only reasonable answer is to define what boobs and man boobs are. Man boobs are a surplus of fat stored in that region, where actual female boobs are an actual structurally designed thing, and those are now mammaries. Those are boobs.
They're
through
designed to
hormone
lactate.
treatment, if men can develop an actual breast tissue,
Yeah, which
then
I
that
don't
is
know.
then that is actual.
Can they do
breast.
that? I don't know.
All
I
right.
don't think.
All right, here's how we define it. If you can lactate, they're regular boobs. That's it.
No, not even like. I mean, they could like not have the ability to lactate, but the actual structure, if it is, by definition through hormone treatment or whatnot, structurally similar to that of real boobs, then I think that would count as real boobs. If it's just a surplus of fat being stored there, then that is, I guess, man boobs.
Well, you guys remember Joe's tits when he was like middling fat Joe, like still pretty fat, but like not super fat. And those were pretty nice. Like as far as like tits on a man go, like they were like they were like perky, like A cup tits. And like when we were hanging out in the pool, and everyone goes gay in the pool, right? Everyone knows that. Like I was looking at Joe's tits, and I was like, "You remember this, right, Craig?" And I was like, "Joe, your tits are kind of awesome right now." Like, I mean, I could do without the ginger hair surrounding the nipple and breast at large, but other than that, like you got like perfect tits, man. I don't know what to say. But those were they were man tits, but they were like transcending.
Isn't that exactly what Joe said about my tits when we were hanging out at the
but-
pool? Because he had to like come over and feel them.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Everyone gets gay in the pool.
You know, I've never been rubbed by a man as much as Joe has touched my ass and my boobs.
Over the years,
Yeah.
yeah.
He just has every excuse. He's just like, I just needed to do it.
I won't. I wasn't as into your tits. They were a little much. So that was a transcendence of man boob to titty. That, I mean, technically Cameron's right, but I mean that would assume, that there are actual differences between the two. And I mean that's kind of taboo to say at this point in time, which is fucking ridiculous, but. Technically, yeah. I mean, if it doesn't produce milk, then it's a man boob. But I mean, what if you're a woman that just can't produce milk?
Right.
Does that mean you have man boobs?
That's exactly the point I was making.
So it's the hard wiring behind it.
The boob is still designed to lactate. But
There's a difference in the fat structure that creates a real breast versus the storing of surplus fat. So,
yeah.
If the structure is similar, then it's no longer a man boob, but an actual boob. So,
yeah, I don't think. Well, shit. All right, so you'd have to, if you were to accept the fact that you can, in fact, change your gender on a whim. Let's say you don't take any products, you don't take any hormones to actually physically change your body.
Just be amphibian about it. Just your gender's now switched.
Yeah, if you do decide to change, but you don't actually go through the process of changing your physical self,
okay,
then I would say they're definitely just whatever you were before or claim to be, or what you actually are biologically.
Oh,
I would say that's what your boobs are. If you're a dude biologically, then you have man boobs. Although, you just have to have man boobs, because if you don't have any hormone treatment, you didn't actually develop actual boobs. And I don't even know if that actually happens, because I don't really give a shit, so I don't look into that kind of stuff. It's all like weird to me, and it's I just don't. I honestly, I just don't care enough to look and find out what happens when you fucking start taking these crazy things and they change your body. But yeah, it's definitely a trap. But
yeah,
I guess in that mentality, you could kind of choose what they are. I mean, because everything's subjective, and you can just flip a switch and decide. But I think the rule would have to be, if you can lactate, their titties. If you can't, they're man boobs. Unless the wiring, really, it's just if you're actually a man and actually, you have the XY chromosome or whatever. I don't know which one is actually fucking dude and chick, but if you have whichever one you had at birth, it is thus you have. If you're a girl at birth, you have titties. If you're a man at birth, you have man boobs. You can get rid of that with outside sources, but the boobs still remain the same until, of course, eventually we lose our tits as men because there's no reason for us to have them. But that kind of shit takes an obscene amount of time, clearly, and a ridiculous amount of time to go away. Because we've been in the running for a long ass time, and we still have boobs for nipples for no reason, as far as I can tell. So it's going to take a while before this is no longer an issue, but I'd say, yeah, it's man titties, man boobs if you were born as a man, and titties if you were born as a woman.
All right, so now what about fake boobs now? Because he said that
they're a category
thinks
all of their own. So
Yeah.
he obviously didn't want us to answer about that.
Yeah, those are just. I mean, and those aren't really boobs, right? That's the whole thing. Is you can.
Yeah.
So if you do transition into a woman from a man and you get fake tits, it's they're not either because they're fake. They're silicone.
It's an optical illusion.
Yeah. They got the spinning tassels on the nipples, and you just stare into my nipple. It's truly illusion. It's like the wheel illusion with the car, where it looks like the wheel's going backwards. Yeah, and then you just don't even think about it. You know what I'm talking about.
Good.
Yeah. Well, thanks for fucking ruining us, Angry Ass Black Dude. It was good. guys, 385-204-3921. That's 385-204-3921. Leave us your questions. We'll give you our answers, and we will talk to you guys again next time.
Mankind has always been the poison.
Give up on yourselves and give up on the world.
Every puzzle has an answer.
Dumbass. Kick logic out and do the impossible. Remember that.
I'm glad I met you guys. You made me pick up on things I probably would have just gone on ignoring.
Don't believe in yourself. Believe in me. Believe in the Kamina who believes in you.